First strike. The holographic display in the Emergency Command Center aboard the Terran Defense Station Olympus cast an eerie blue glow across Admiral Sarah Chen's face as she studied the incoming damage reports. Her expression remained carefully neutral, but her fingers gripped the edge of the tactical table until her knuckles turned white. Confirmation from all sectors. Admiral, Commander James Rivera reported, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. The Vaxari strike force hit 17 colonies simultaneously. New Mars, Titan Base, and Proxima Station are. They're just gone. Initial casualty estimates exceed 12 million. The room fell silent except for the soft hum of computing systems and the occasional ping of incoming emergency transmissions. The other officers present watched their admiral, waiting for her response to this unprecedented attack on human civilization. Admiral Chen straightened, smoothing her uniform with practiced precision. And the Vaxari's message. Rivera's tablet projected the alien transmission into the air between them. A Vaxari High Commander, their crystalline exoskeleton gleaming with bioluminescent patterns of authority, spoke with what could only be described as condescending certainty. Your species' rapid expansion threatens the established order. This precise intervention will demonstrate the futility of resistance against superior civilization. Accept your designated development zone within Sol system, and we will permit your continued existence. A small smile played at the corners of Chen's lips, but it didn't reach her eyes. They actually believe this is precise intervention. Fascinating. She turned to her Chief of Intelligence, Dr. Elena Volkov. Your assessment. Volkov stepped forward, her cybernetic eyes scanning through data streams invisible to others. The Vaxari have fundamentally misinterpreted human history and psychology. They believe our peaceful expansion and diplomatic approach indicates technological inferiority and military weakness. A common mistake, Chen mused, assuming that those who choose peace are incapable of war. She activated the central holographic display, expanding it to show the full scope of human-controlled space. Status of Protocol Sleeping Phoenix. Rivera's eyes widened slightly. You don't mean. I do. Authorization. Chen Alpha 773. Execute Phoenix Protocol. Throughout human space, seemingly innocent civilian installations began to change. Orbital farming platforms transformed into weapon platforms. Mining vessels revealed military-grade shields and weapon systems. Trading posts unveiled state-of-the-art command and control centers. Send this message to all human forces, Chen commanded. The Vaxari have mistaken our restraint for weakness, our peace for submission. They believe they can contain humanity within arbitrary boundaries of their choosing. Today, we remind the galaxy why we chose peace in the first place. She paused, making eye contact with each officer in the room. Humanity didn't achieve spaceflight by accepting limitations. We didn't survive our own violent history by submitting to threats. We chose peace because we remembered the cost of war, not because we forgot how to fight. The command center erupted into coordinated activity as officers relayed orders and activated long-dormant defense systems. The Vaxari had expected their attack to cow humanity into submission. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous, a spacefaring civilization that had spent centuries preparing for this exact scenario while hoping it would never come. Dr. Volkov, Chen called out, begin transmission of pattern black protocols to all colonial AI systems. Commander Rivera, activate the Lazarus grid. It's time to show the Vaxari why every other spacefaring race gave Earth a wide berth during first contact. As the orders went out, humanity's true face began to emerge. The Vaxari would soon learn that they hadn't attacked a weak, expanding civilization. They had attacked a sleeping giant that had spent centuries building redundancies, hiding capabilities, and preparing for the worst while hoping for the best. The next 48 hours would reshape the galaxy's understanding of humanity forever. Project Legacy. High Commander Kirix of the Vaxari Strike Fleet felt the first tremors of uncertainty ripple through their crystalline form as they watched the sensor readings. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Explain, they demanded, gesturing at the holographic display where thousands of new signatures were appearing across human space. Senior analyst Vextera's bioluminescent patterns flickered with distress. Impossible. They're civilian installations. They're transforming. Mining platforms are revealing military-grade weapon systems. Trading vessels are deploying combat shields. Even their agricultural stations are. The analyst's voice trailed off as new data streamed in. Are what? Kyrix demanded. They're unfolding into fully operational battle stations. The humans, they've been hiding military infrastructure inside civilian facilities. For centuries. Across human space, Project Legacy was awakening. Every human colony, every trading post, every seemingly innocent civilian installation had been built with a secondary purpose. The peaceful facade of human expansion concealed the most extensive military preparation program in galactic history. Back on the Terran Defense Station Olympus, Admiral Chen watched as humanity's true capabilities emerged from hiding. Dr. Volkov stood beside her, monitoring the activation sequences. Project Legacy deployment at 67% and climbing, Volkov reported. The Vaxari are attempting to jam our communications, but they don't realize we haven't used standard quantum channels for critical military communications in over a century. Chen nodded, remembering the countless drills, the years of preparation, the massive resources dedicated to maintaining this facade. Status of the Lazarus Grid. Commander Rivera's hands danced across his console. Online and operational, Admiral. All colonial AIs have successfully transferred to their military protocols. The Vaxari won't be able to crack our encryption. They're still trying to decode our civilian systems, not realizing those were deliberately designed to be complex decoys. The Admiral allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had learned its lessons well from its own history. The best way to maintain peace was to be so overwhelmingly prepared for war that no one would dare start one. But if someone did, signal the Phoenix Fleet, Chen ordered. Execute Operation Revelation. Throughout human space, apparently normal sections of asteroids began to split apart, revealing sleek warships that had been hidden in plain sight. Civilian space stations transformed, defensive systems emerging from hidden compartments. But the real surprise came from Earth itself. The Moon, humanity's first step into space, had been more than just a colonial outpost for centuries. As emergency protocols activated, vast sections of the lunar surface shifted, revealing the largest shipyards ever constructed. Ships that had been built in secret, tested in shadow, and hidden away emerged into the light. Incoming transmission from Vaxari High Command, Rivera announced. The holographic image of High Commander Kyrix appeared, their crystalline form radiating patterns that Dr. Volkov's systems identified as intense agitation. What is the meaning of this deception? Your species claim to be peaceful explorers. We are peaceful explorers, Chen replied calmly. We're also the species that survived multiple world wars, developed atomic weapons, and came to the brink of self-annihilation before learning better. Did you really think we reached the stars without maintaining our capacity for self-defense? But the resources required, the coordination, the deception, was necessary, Chen cut in. Because there are always those who mistake kindness for weakness, restraint for inability. You assumed our peaceful expansion meant we were naive. Instead, every colony we built, every trading post we established, every diplomatic mission we undertook served two purposes: peaceful cooperation and strategic preparation. The Vaxari commander's bioluminescence patterns shifted rapidly. You've been preparing for war this entire time. No, High Commander. We've been preparing for peace. Peace secured by the absolute certainty that attacking humanity would be the last mistake any species ever made. You're about to understand why every other spacefaring race gave Earth a wide berth during first contact. They bothered to study our history. As if to punctuate her words, another wave of ships emerged from hidden docks in the asteroid belt. Each vessel was specifically designed to counter Vaxeri technology, built with knowledge gained through centuries of careful observation and analysis, disguised as routine diplomatic and trading missions. The Vaxeri were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't its hidden fleets or transformed installations. It was the patience and dedication to maintain this level of preparation for centuries, while genuinely, earnestly hoping it would never be needed. Counterstrike. All Phoenix Fleet elements in position. Commander Rivera reported, his voice steady as status updates flowed across his display. Quantum entanglement communications confirmed secure. The Vaxeri still haven't detected our true command network. Admiral Chen stood at the tactical display, watching as thousands of human vessels moved into their designated positions. Each ship was a testament to centuries of hidden technological development, designed specifically to exploit weaknesses in Vaxeri defense systems that the aliens didn't even know they had. Begin Phase 1, Chen ordered. Activate the Prometheus Protocol. Across the battlefield, human ships initiated what appeared to be standard FTL jumps. The Vaxeri sensors registered the quantum signatures as expected, their defensive systems adjusting to track the anticipated emergence points. It was textbook space combat doctrine, exactly what any advanced civilization would expect. It was also completely wrong. The human ships didn't emerge where the Vaxeri predicted. Instead, the quantum signatures multiplied, split, and danced across space like a cosmic lightning storm. When the ships finally appeared, they were everywhere and nowhere the Vaxeri expected. Aboard the Vaxeri command ship, High Commander Kirix watched in horror as their carefully positioned defensive screens became meaningless, impossible. Their FTL signatures, they're manipulating quantum space itself. That's what happens when you spend centuries pretending to be less advanced than you are. Chen's voice came through on all Vaxeri frequencies. While you watched us use basic quantum drives, we were perfecting quantum space manipulation. Those trading missions you dismissed, every single one was mapping the quantum topology of your defense networks. The first wave of human attacks demonstrated just how complete humanity's understanding of Vaxeri technology had become. Weapons specifically calibrated to the resonant frequencies of Vaxeri shields sliced through their defenses like they weren't even there. Electronic warfare systems that had been designed and refined over centuries of careful observation overwhelmed their command and control networks. Dr. Volkov's voice cut through the tactical chatter. Admiral, the Lazarus Grid is reporting successful penetration of all targeted Vaxeri systems. We have complete access to their network architecture. How? Kirix demanded, their crystalline form pulsing with patterns of fear and confusion. Our cybersecurity protocols are impenetrable. Are they? Chen's response carried a hint of amusement. Or did you just never imagine that those primitive human AI systems you detected in our civilian networks were elaborate decoys? While you were proud of stopping our apparent cyber intrusion attempts, our true AI systems were mapping every vulnerability in your network. The battle unfolded like a perfectly choreographed dance, with human forces demonstrating levels of coordination and technological sophistication that seemed impossible. Ships transformed mid-battle, reconfiguring themselves to adapt to Vaxeri tactical changes before they even occurred. Weapon systems demonstrated capabilities that defied the Vaxeri understanding of physics. You don't understand, Chen continued, her voice now carrying a note of sadness. Every peaceful interaction, every diplomatic exchange, every trade agreement, they were all genuine. We truly wanted peace and cooperation, but we never forgot our history. We never forgot what we're capable of when pushed too far. Commander Rivera's console lit up with new alerts. Admiral, the Vaxeri are attempting to regroup at their fallback positions. As expected, Chen nodded. Execute Phase 2. Deploy the Thanatos platforms. Throughout the battlefield, what appeared to be debris from destroyed human ships suddenly came to life. These were the Thanatos platforms, autonomous weapon systems that had been disguised as wreckage, waiting for this exact moment. They activated in perfect synchronization, their quantum-linked weapons creating a web of destructive energy that trapped the retreating Vaxari fleet. A century ago, Chen addressed the Vaxari commander. Your analysts dismissed our primitive attempts at quantum entanglement communication. They never realized we had already mastered it and were using their dismissal as cover to deploy a galaxy-wide quantum targeting network. The Thanatos platforms demonstrated the full extent of humanity's hidden capabilities. They didn't just attack the Vaxari ships. They predicted where they would be, moving in perfect coordination to eliminate any possibility of escape. It was a display of technological supremacy that would have been terrifying if it wasn't so precisely controlled. As the Vaxari fleet found itself completely surrounded and outmaneuvered, High Commander Kirix finally understood the true magnitude of their error. They hadn't attacked a weaker civilization that needed to be contained. They had attacked a technological giant that had spent centuries preparing for this moment, while desperately hoping it would never come. The art of deterrence. The holographic representation of the Vaxari High Council chamber materialized in the Olympus Command Center. 7 crystalline forms, their bioluminescent patterns subdued with what Dr. Volkov's systems identify as fear, faced Admiral Chen. The defeat of their fleet had shaken their civilization to its core. You could destroy us all, first speaker Zareth stated, their patterns pulsing with resigned acceptance. Your technology, your strategy, your deception, it's beyond anything we imagined possible. Why do you hesitate? Admiral Chen's response surprised them. Because destruction has never been our goal. Even now, after your unprovoked attack killed millions of our people, we choose restraint, not from weakness, but from wisdom. She gestured, and the holographic display shifted to show Earth's historical archives. Images of ancient wars, nuclear devastation, and environmental catastrophes flowed past. This is why we chose peace, not because we couldn't fight, but because we learned, through blood and fire and nearly destroying ourselves, that victory through annihilation is no victory at all. Dr. Volkov stepped forward, her cybernetic eyes scanning the Vaxari leaders. Your species' psychological profile indicates you value strength above all else. You saw our peaceful expansion as weakness because you couldn't conceive of strength expressing itself through restraint. The archives shifted to show humanity's first steps into space, their early conflicts, and their eventual decision to unite. We didn't build hidden fleets and develop superior technology because we wanted war, Chen continued. We did it because we remembered what we were capable of. Every ship we constructed, every weapon we developed, was created with a single purpose, to ensure that if war came, it would be so decisively won that it would never be contemplated again. Second speaker Nerval's patterns shifted with confusion. But the resources, the dedication required to maintain such deception for centuries, why not simply display your power openly? Demonstrate your superiority. Commander Rivera let out a soft chuckle. Because that would have defeated the purpose. We wanted peace, genuine peace. Not the kind enforced by visible threats, but the kind that comes from mutual understanding and cooperation. Your attack, Chen addressed the council, forced us to reveal capabilities we hoped would remain forever hidden. Now we have a choice to make. As do you. We can continue this conflict, demonstrate even more of what humanity is capable of when pushed to its limits, or... She paused, letting the silence hang heavy in the air. Or we can show you why we chose peace in the first place, why we dedicated so much effort to hiding our true capabilities rather than flaunting them, why every other spacefaring race that took the time to study our history chose to approach Earth with respect rather than aggression. The holographic display shifted again, showing the destroyed human colonies. We will rebuild what you destroyed, but we won't do it alone. Your civilization will assist us, not as conquered subjects, but as partners in understanding a fundamental truth. True strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the wisdom to know when not to. First speaker Zareth's patterns shifted rapidly. You would offer cooperation after what we did. We offer a chance to learn what we learned, Chen replied. That the greatest victory isn't defeating an enemy, but transforming them into an ally. That the most powerful weapon isn't the one that destroys, but the one you choose not to use. The command center fell silent as the Vaxari Council processed this. Their entire understanding of power, of civilization, of proper conduct between species was being challenged. They had attacked humanity expecting to find weakness in its peaceful approach. Instead, they had discovered a strength beyond their comprehension, not just in technology and strategy, but in the ability to choose peace even when war was justified. However, Chen's voice hardened slightly. Make no mistake. This offer of cooperation comes with understanding. Humanity's patience is vast, but not infinite. Our capacity for forgiveness is great, but not boundless. The galaxy will know what happened here, and they will understand why we chose peace, not because we had to, but because we could afford to. New Dawn. 1 year later, the observation deck of the newly constructed Unity station offered a spectacular view of the joint human-Vaxari reconstruction effort on New Mars. Where destruction had reigned just a year ago, a thriving metropolis now rose from the red soil, its architecture a stunning blend of human and Vaxari design philosophies. Admiral Chen stood at the window, watching construction drones weave between crystalline spires and terraforming platforms. Beside her, First Speaker Zareth's bioluminescent patterns glowed with what she had learned to recognize as amazement. In one planetary cycle, Zareth said, "You've not only rebuilt what we destroyed but improved upon it. The integration of our crystalline architecture with your adaptive environmental systems, it's beyond what either of our species could have achieved alone." "That's the point we were trying to make all along," Chen replied. "True advancement comes not from dominance, but from synthesis, not from conquest, but from cooperation." Dr. Volkov approached, her cybernetic eyes processing the construction data in real time. The Galactic Council's annual report just came in. The Terran doctrine is being studied and implemented by 17 different species. The concept of peace through hidden strength has transformed interstellar diplomatic relations. Commander Rivera joined them, his uniform now bearing both Terran Defense Force and Galactic Peace Corps insignias. The latest surveys show a 60% reduction in interspecies conflicts across known space. Turns out, when everyone realized that the peaceful humans had been capable of overwhelming military superiority all along, it made them reconsider their own aggressive stances. "And the Thanatos platforms?" Zareth asked, patterns shifting with what might have been nervousness. Chen smiled. "Still out there, still hidden. Along with other systems we never had to reveal. Some secrets are best kept, not as threats, but as reminders of the responsibility that comes with power." The station's quantum communications array chimed, announcing an incoming transmission from Earth. The holographic display showed the chambers of the newly formed Galactic Cooperation Initiative, where representatives from dozens of species gathered to discuss mutual advancement and peaceful expansion. A year ago, Chen mused, this would have seemed impossible. Our species at war, the galaxy teetering on the edge of chaos. Now look at us, building something greater than either of us imagined. Zareth's patterns rippled thoughtfully. "We attacked because we feared your expansion would destabilize the galaxy. Instead, your response to our aggression has created a stability we never thought possible. The other species don't follow humanity's lead out of fear, but out of respect for your restraint." "That was always the goal," Chen replied. "Not to be the strongest civilization in the galaxy, but to be strong enough to choose peace without it being mistaken for weakness, to build without needing to dominate, to explore without needing to conquer." The observation deck fell silent as they watched a massive terraforming array come online, its energy field shimmering across the Martian sky. It represented the best of both civilizations, Vaxari crystal technology, powered by human quantum engineering, working in harmony to create something new. "The galaxy's changing," Rivera observed. "Species that have been enemies for millennia are reaching out to each other. studying Earth's history, learning from our mistakes and our choices. And the hidden fleets. Zar-If asked. The quantum defense networks. The technologies we still don't understand. Chen turned to face the Vaxeri leader. They remain what they've always been. Not a sword hanging over the galaxy's head, but a shield protecting its peace. A reminder that strength doesn't always have to be displayed to be effective. Dr. Volkov's cybernetic eyes flickered as she processed new data. The first graduates of the Joint Species Academy are ready for their assignments. Humans and Vaxari working together, along with dozens of other species, all trained in both military readiness and peaceful conflict resolution. Because that's the lesson we learned from our own history, Chen said. The lesson we tried to teach through centuries of hidden preparation. Peace isn't the absence of strength, it's the wisdom to know how to use it. The galaxy hasn't become peaceful because humanity proved stronger than everyone else, but because we proved it was possible to be strong without being cruel, to be prepared without being threatening, to be powerful without being tyrannical. The sun rose over the Martian horizon, its light catching the crystalline spires of the new city. It illuminated not just a rebuilt colony, but a new way forward for all spacefaring species. Humanity had revealed its strength not to dominate, but to demonstrate that true power lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the choice to create instead. The galaxy would remember the lesson for generations to come.